Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Vijay and we will continue to learn Python with our Python Mastery series. So, in the previous video, we understood how we can process the numeric data and perform various operations like addition, subtraction, all of that. But let's say in our code cafe, customer comes and the customer has name Rahul Verma and he types all the name in lowercase. But the bill should always print as R capital and V capital because we have a standard that the first name first letter and the last name first letter should be in capital format. So we need to make some processing on that. Customer either can enter the data in a correct format or incorrect format, but we have to process that data. We don't change the data, we just make it as per our requirement. Okay. So for all of that, we need to understand the strings in depth, what string is all about, how we can utilize the string. Let's say customer has entered the full name, we have to just fetch the first name from that, or either customer has entered the first name, last name, we have to make it as a full name. All that processing can be done with the help of string. String is a very powerful concept in Python uh, that is used to process the data, and let's jump to the blackboard to understand the theoretical portion of it. Okay, so if I jump, okay, so first of all, what is string? So string is nothing but collection of characters, or I would say sequence is a more better word. Sequence of characters enclosed in quotes. Okay, so example, example is Vijay Goa, and the things can be anything. Here, whatever we enclose in the double quotes, even if we enclose 1, 2, 3, the numeric data in the quotes, that will also be treated as string that we have already seen in our input function related video. Okay, so this is what the string is. Now, string also has a very beautiful property of indexing and slicing. So, what is indexing? And second is what is slicing? Okay, so let's start with the indexing part. So, if I go here and let's say if I type vi, let me do it this way: Vijay. So, let's say the string is Vj. Okay, or Vj. Okay. Now, if I have to fetch the third letter of this one, or I have to fetch the fifth last letter, so we need to know the position of each of the letter. And Python assigns in the backend a position to each letter. Okay, so that is called indexing, assigning the position of and index to each character. Okay, so that is indexing. And in Python, the first index starts with 0. So this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. Okay, so let me enclose it with a square. Okay, so this is how the indexing is done. If I go further, this is positive indexing. Okay, this is called as positive indexing. And if we go to the negative indexing, oops, I guess this is misplaced. Let me take it a little bit down, positive indexing. Okay, let me pull this up. Okay, so this we are doing a positive indexing, and here actually let me delete this one because yeah, now it's proper. If we are doing a negative indexing, how that works? For the same example, V, I, J, A, Y. Okay, it's -1. Remember, negative indexing starts with negative number -1, and it will carry forward in that direction only. So, -3, -4, -5. Okay, so this is the example of negative indexing. Let's say in some scenarios we might have to fetch the data from the ending, not from the beginning. In that scenarios, uh, this is very useful, the negative indexing. I tell you why. Let's say I have to access the last character. So rather than calculating one by one, which is the last character or what should be the index of last character, I can remember that -1 is the last character for any of the string. So that is very easy to access. Or if I have to fetch second last character, in that scenario, -2 is the one. So the Python also gives flexibility to us that you can access the data either from the beginning with the positive indexing, either from the ending with the negative indexing. Whatever is convenient to your use case, you can utilize that. So this is indexing. Now, slicing. Slicing is like slice a portion of data. Okay. And yeah, guys, remember, let's say this my string. Let me delete this. Actually, this square bracket is making the things little bit distracting. Okay. If I'm doing this thing, okay. Okay, let's say the string is s is equal to or name is equal to, let us give us a meaningful name. Either you will only say that Vijay, you told in past the variable name should be meaningful. Okay. So let's say name is equal to Vijay. So if I have to take a single character, name is 0. So this will give me output as V. Why? Because the 0 is the first character and Python will be fetching as that as the output. Okay. In similar way, if I have to fetch name -1, that will be Y. And this is super useful in data analytics and data science field. Why? Because we are processing the data more in that. It is useful in other fields too, but this kind of fields it's very useful. So this is a very important concept of Python. Let's say here we are only fetching the single characters, not the full data in slicing, in indexing. In slicing, we might have to fetch the portion of data. Let's say name is Vijay Rangvani. Okay. So for that, if I have to fetch output as Vijay, then what I need to do? I need to have a formula like name start then end. And remember, end is not inclusive. What does that mean? That means if I say name 0 to 2, let's say. So what it will do? It will fetch the, let me copy this portion so we can refer to that. Okay. It will fetch the 0 1 but not 2. So the output will be Vi. So in case if I have to print output as Vijay, it should be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, so that 5 won't be inclusive. Okay, 0 to 5. Here I will write also and is not inclusive. Okay, so this is the slicing, that we are slicing our data. Okay, and remember, the important thing again I'm reiterating, because beginners generally make a mistake. The index starts from 0, not 1 in Python. Or I would say in a programming itself, everything starts with 0. So that's how the slicing is done. There is one more parameter also, name, start, and end, and along with that there is parameter of step size. Okay, step size. What does that mean? Let's say if I put name 0 to 5 and with a step size of 2. Okay, so what it will do, it will take every second character, so it will skip the next character and then jump into the next second character. Okay, so it will start with V, then it will skip I, it will move to J. Okay, then it will skip the A, it will print Y. Okay, so this will be the output. This is very useful in many things where we want to like skip a character, and the step size is variable. Whatever you want to enter, you can enter. The Python will skip that many number of character and move to the next character. Okay, so this is indexing and slicing portion. So we have understood all the things on the theoretical basis. Now let's jump to the code part. So let's start. First, we will see till now have seen that we can store the strings with the help of quotes, but it can be stored with a single quote, double quote, anything, okay, or triple quote even, if that is multi-line. So that we will see here. Rahul is there, customer, then we have uh, customer, let's say customer 1, customer 2, then we have Neha, then we have customer 3. Okay, we have, let's say, Ravi. So we can use double quote, we can even use single quotes also, we can use triple quotes also. Triple quotes are generally used as single line. Okay, oh sorry, multi-line, not single line, multi-line. Let me select that, and in the next line I will print customer 1, customer 2, and customer 3. Okay, why it is taking so long? I guess there is some issue with the kernel. Let me restart the kernel. Okay, now it came up. Previously it was issue with the kernel. So see, all are treated as same. So we can use any of them. How it is useful? Um, just to give an example, let's say I am saying Rahul has said, and then this is my P. So if I enter the double quotes here, the Python will get confused where the string is starting, where it is stopping, and inside also there is double quotes. So we can use this whenever we want a kind of flexibility inside our string. Also we have double quotes or single quotes. Accordingly, we can use the another type to denote that. Okay. So this I will make it again as Neha. Okay. So Python gives you flexibility for all of the three. Okay. Now let's say if I check the data type that we learned in few videos back, print the type of customer one. It is giving us an string. So this is very important whenever we want to do any kind of operations like indexing, slicing, all that thing. So that is very important. Okay. Now going forward, let's say we take a customer name as Vijay, and now we want to print customer first character we want to print from the customer name. With the square bracket, enter the index. First index will always be 0. So you can see it is printing 0. In the similar way, if I copy this, okay, change it to 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So if you see, whatever we studied in theory that we are doing practically in the code, it's quite simple. Just you have to enter the index and Python will print it. Okay. Now negative indexing also we will see one or two examples. This is positive indexing. Now we will go with the negative indexing. So same customer name if we have to print, I will copy here two or three lines, and if I have to print the last index, it will be -1, and then it will, if I have to print -3. Okay. So you can see Y and J. So this is where the negative indexing works. And remember guys, if you enter any index that is not present or it is out of the range of that string, it will give you an error. Just to show you an example, customer name, and we can enter, let's say sixth index is not there. It will give you an example of out of the range. Okay. So remember, in indexing, we always get an error if we enter any index that is out of the range. Now let's understand the example that we studied the theoretical. The first name is Vijay, last name is Rangvani. Okay. If I have to make the full name, I have to concatenate the strings. So it will be first name plus, we need to enter the space, else the Python program will directly concrete it without any spaces. So we need to enter the space in between, then plus last name. Okay. We will print the full name. So quite simple, straightforward. Vijay, that is coming from the first name, then space, then last name. Okay. So this is how this operation works, concatenation. Okay. Now we have string repetition. Let's say I have to repeat 5 times Vijay. Okay. My name, if I define it, and I have to repeat this 5 times. So simple print. There are some scenarios, although this is not the practical one right now in this case, but there are some scenarios where we need to repeat the things. So if you see Vijay, 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 it printed 5 times. If I have to do 100 times, I do not have to manually write it. It will automatically do it for me 100 times. Okay, so this is how this works. Then we also have some, so we saw two operations, that addition and multiplication, how they behave differently in the string data as compared to the numeric data. So that is why the data types were important. So if you have the data in the correct data type, and if you are performing the operations on that, the output can be whatever you are desiring. If the data type is not correct, the output can be something else. It might not give you an error, but it can give you an incorrect output. Okay. And one more thing, let's say if I want to measure the length of the characters, let's say mm, print the length. So we have a length function where inside the parenthesis, if we enter the name of the variable, it will give us the length. So Vijay is of 5 characters, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, oh sorry, 4. Because starting with 0, it is 4. So the total length is 5. So in that way, we can calculate the length also. And why length is important, let's say I am building something related to a password mechanism, and I want that there should be a password of 8 characters. In that, we can do a check also with the using conditions and everything. So Python gives us an flexibility that we do not have to manually calculate the length. The length can be calculated with the help of this length function. Okay. Now let's jump to our mini project for this video. Okay. What we will be doing with the code cafe today. So whatever we are taking the name of the customer, we will be processing that data. So let's start with our welcome message. Print welcome to our code cafe, and then have a very beautiful coffee sign. Okay. Now we will first take the customer name with the help of input function as we did in the previous videos. Enter customer name, and it's already a string data, so you do not need a typecasting. Whatever the food item is customer ordering, that we will store here with the input function. Food items. Okay. Now what we will do, payment method. Okay, and we will enter the payment method. Okay, now we have done this part of taking the customer name, food items, payment method. What else we need to do? We will print a summary of this. Print order summary. Okay, so now we will print. Here also again we will be using the f strings. The customer is, oops, the customer is, writing from the customer name, then print the food items that will be fetched from the food item variable, then printing again the payment method, and that will be fetched from the payment method variable. Okay, so that we will be printing. Now let's say we want to calculate how many character name is it a long or small name, that we can get an idea. So total characters in name, and as we studied in the last, it is very simple len function that we will be using. for the customer name. That will give us the length. Okay. And what is the first character that we will be seeing? And first character, um, what is missing? Okay, yeah, first character, and that should be with the help of indexing. Customer name, zeroth index. Okay, print last name, last character, that will be customer name minus one. Okay, so here we are taking all the details from the customer and we are processing the first name, last name. Oh, sorry, first character, last character for the customer's name. So let's say Rahul is the customer. Food items. It's quite simple. Let's say dosa is a food item that we can enter. Payment method, it's cash. Okay. So here you can see we are printing Rahul dosa. So these items I have just taken to show you that how we can print that. Although we have seen in the past videos, not much, but yes, just to show you the print. The processing we are just doing on the name part. So here we have total characters 5. The first character is R, the last is L. So this is what we studied in today's video. Okay, and let me just have a recap. Going back to the, yeah. So we studied in today's video regarding the strings, how we can do the indexing, how the indexing works. Uh, the important point to remember is in positive indexing, the first character is always zeroth index, and in negative indexing, the last character is always minus one. Okay, and slicing, just we saw a glimpse. In the upcoming videos we will be covering it in more detail because slicing is very important concept, and I want to keep it as a separate, so we will be covering slicing in more detailed value. Okay, we just studied a glimpse that how it works, the theoretical part, and then we jump to the code, built a small mini project, how we can have the length function, first character, last character in practical coding. Okay, so coming back, this was it for the strings indexing part, and thank you very much for watching this video. If you're liking this series, please subscribe and share my channel. Thank you and happy coding.